Good morning, students. Welcome back to your English class. Today, we'll continue with the lesson number 27, The Legend of Marathon. Children, in the previous video, we have seen that Athenians defeated the Persians, but as they were very powerful and strong and they were not ready to accept their defeat, so they devised new plan and they thought of to attack on the city of Athens from the seaside. Okay, because they noticed that the entire Athenian army and soldiers, they all came to the seashore to fight with them, and only aged people, women and children were there in the city of Athens. Okay, and children, now let's see further what happened here in the story. The Athenian army would take very long to travel back to Athens on foot with their heavy armor and weapons. Seeing the Persians, the defenseless people in the city of Athens would think that Athens had lost the battle. Then it would be easy for the Persian to take over the city. This was their plan. Okay, because they came to know, Persians came to know that the Athenian army had means would take time to go back to Athens on their foot, especially when they had heavy armor. Armor means, children, a protective covering which is made of metal and it is used in the battlefields. Okay, so actually, children, Athenian army was having, means soldiers were having their heavy armor and weapons, and it was quite difficult for them to travel back to Athens on foot with their heavy armors and weapons. And Persians thought that when defenseless people, means aged people, women and children, would see them, then they would think that Athens had lost the battle and it would be very easy for the Persian to take over the city. Okay, now the Athenian generals too were good strategists. When they saw the Persian fleet leave in a hurry, they understood the Persian plan. They resolved to go back to Athens as fast as possible to defend it. But it was very necessary to let the people of Athens know that they had won. Children, when Athenian generals saw that Persians were leaving in a hurry, okay, Persians fleet means soldiers on the ship, they left in a hurry. So Athenian generals, they were also very good strategists. Strategist means a person who is skilled in planning action or policy. Okay, so they were also very good in politics, in war, and they understood Persians plan. So they resolved to go back to Athens as fast as possible to defend it. To defend it means to protect it, but it was very much necessary to let the people of Athens know that they had won the battle. They would wait for the victorious Athenian army to return. The city would be safe. Who would take this message to them? The message must be delivered before the Persians reach there. Who would travel faster than the Persian ship, and that too on a longer route? Who else but Pheidippides? Pheidippides had already completed a run of more than 200 kilometers just the day before. But he was a brave young man. He would do anything for his state. Also, this time he was to carry a happy message. Okay, children, now here you can see, as Athenian generals, they understood the Persians' plan. So they thought that we need to reach as fast as we could reach to the city of Athens to protect it. But before that, we should send the message to the people of Athens that we have won the battle, so that the people of Athens would wait for the victorious Athenian army to return, and city would be safe because they would not open the gate for the Persians. But who would take the message to the people of Athens that they have won the battle? The message must be delivered before the Persian reached there. Means before children, Persians were going by the ship. They took the sea route to reach to the city of Athens. So here the message need to be carried before they reach to the city of Athens. So there was a question, who would travel faster than the Persian ship, and that is also on a longer route. Children, there was sea route and there was land route, but land route was longer than the sea route. Okay, and they were using the ship. Here the person had to go on foot. So there was no other option but the Pheidippides. And children, we have already seen in the previous video that Pheidippides had already completed his run of 200 kilometers just the day before, when he went to Sparta to ask the help of the Spartan people, and again he came back to Athens. Okay, so already he completed, children, 200 kilometers just the day before. But he was a very brave young man, and he could do anything for his state. State means here country. Also this time he was to carry a happy message. Happy message means, children, they won the battle, and he had to carry a happy message to the people that they are victorious. It was not easy for Pheidippides to reach Athens sooner than the Persians did. That is why this time he left the usual safe route and chose another one that passed through cliffs and mountains but was much shorter. Children, it was not that easy for Pheidippides to reach to Athens before the Persian ships. So what happened, children? What did he do? He left the usual safe route. Children, there was one usual route which was used by the people. That route was safe. So he left that and he chose the another one which was quite dangerous. Means that route was passing through the cliffs. Cliffs means steep rock face. Okay, especially at the edge of the sea. And he was passing through cliffs and mountains, but that route was shorter. Pheidippides scaled the first steep cliff and picked up speed. He had to run more than 40 kilometers. It was very hot. He began to perspire. There were some shady olive trees on one side of the road, but Pheidippides couldn't wait, couldn't rest. He just ran on and on. His heart began to beat faster. He became weak with hunger and thirst, but he did not stop. Children, Pheidippides, he did his best. He first climbed the first steep cliff and then he picked up the speed. Okay, braving all odds and difficulties, he tirelessly kept running. Children, he had to cover more than 40 kilometers and it was very hot. He began to perspire. Means, children, here give out sweat as it was hot. So he started sweating like anything because it was very hot. And on the way, children, there were some shady olive trees on one side of the road, but Pheidippides couldn't wait. Okay, and he couldn't take the rest. He was weak with hunger and thirst. His heart was beating faster, but he continued the mission of reaching the city. He didn't stop. At last, Pheidippides came within sight of city gates of Athens. He was successful in his mission. He had reached before the Persians. The people of Athens threw open the gates to Pheidippides. What happened, Pheidippides? Do you bring good news or? Dear children, as he continued his run and he reached to the city gate of Athens, he was successful in his mission. Means he reached before the Persians. Okay, and people of Athens opened the gate to Pheidippides. And they asked Pheidippides, "What happened, Pheidippides? Do you bring good news, or is they were not knowing that whether they are victorious or they have lost the battle. So people with hope they ask, do you bring the good news that we have won the battle, or yes, yes, joy to you. We won, we won. As soon as Pheidippides had delivered this message, he collapsed, never to rise again. He had laid down his life in the service of Athens. Children, he gave the message, he informed the people of Athens that they had won and that their army would be there soon. But alas, after doing the duty assigned to him, he collapsed. He fell down. Okay? And he had sacrificed his life in service to Athens. He did not rise again, means children. He sacrificed his life in service of it, in service to his country, or you can say state, Athens. Thus, children, is this story of Pheidippides has inspired the people of Greece for many centuries. His historic run from Marathon to Athens became a legend. He set an example of selflessness and courage, patriotism and devotion to one's motherland. Your children, he did not think of himself. He gave up his life. He was courageous. He did not lose heart. He took up the challenge. He took up the task. He had love for his country, patriotism, and he was it shows his devotion to his country, okay, to his motherland. So this story of Pheidippides inspired many people of Greece for many centuries, children, and his run from Marathon to Athens became a legend, means very popular story. Okay, when the Olympic Games were started in Greece, this legendary event was commemorated in the form of sporting event, marathon. Today, marathons are arranged in many countries. When you see one, or when you are old enough to take part in one, remember the first marathon runner. Children, when Olympic Games were started in Greece, children, Greece is a country which started Olympic Games. So when they started Olympic Games, children, this legendary event, means the run from Marathon to Athens by Pheidippides, this event was commemorated in the form of sporting events, the marathon. Commemorated means, children, recall and show respect for someone or something. So here, to show respect, to recall his sacrifice, this sporting event is started, okay, as the marathon. And today, children, marathons are arranged in many countries. When you see someone, or when you are old enough to take part in marathon, always remember the first marathon runner, that is Pheidippides. So children, through this lesson we learn to be courageous, to show our love, devotion and patriotism towards our country, towards our motherland. Okay, and children, we should always try to present examples before us, so that the people we can always be alive in the memories of the people. Okay, so I hope, children, you like this story and this story has inspired you. Thank you.